Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about RPE scale and why it's so important when it comes to intervals and endurance training and maximizing your time, effort, and results. Let's get to it. So the RPE scale, rating of perceived exertion. Okay? The idea here is that we are measuring on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay? So, I'm not going to make you sit through the scoring card. 10. Good, I can count. So what we are looking for on a scale of 1 to 10 is how long you can do those intensities for. What makes this so valuable is when it comes to intervals, we're going to know how long you should be doing those intervals for. So remember, our body doesn't train best at putting in that maximum time or effort every single time. It likes to build upon itself. So when it comes down to 1, your effort level 1, like trying to open up a bag of chips without it exploding. Okay? You should be able to sustain 1 for over an hour. Okay? So more than an hour. Okay? More than 60 minutes. Okay? 2. This is where it starts to get into a little bit of work. Okay? Still, it's like trying to open a harder bag of chips. Okay? It's nothing hard and nothing crazy. Here we're looking for anywhere between 50 to 60 minutes. Okay? 3, this is typically where we're looking at recovery. Right? With the 3 here, this is active recovery phase. This is like a walk. Right? This is an easy walk. It's not hard to maintain. Whew, almost tripped. Not hard to maintain. So with this, we're looking for 45 to 50 minutes. Okay? It's a little bit longer, but still, those ranges are going to vary. Number 4. Okay, level 4, starting to up it a little bit. Here, 40 to 45 minutes. Okay? So it's still not that hard of work, okay? But it should still feel like a 4 by the very end of all of this. Okay? And when you hit the 45-minute mark, it should still feel like a 4 out of 10. Okay, that's the important part to think about. 5, we start to get up into our working phases. So here, last one. 4 was at 40. No, it's not going up to 50. But here, we're looking at 30 to 35 minutes. You see the gap in there. Because we're putting in that much more effort, that's where we're starting to see that climb down. Right? A 6 out of 10. Anywhere between 20 to 27 minutes. Okay? A little bit longer of a gap depending upon how often you train these higher intensities. A 7, this is where we start to see the big drop off. So 7, so we're getting to 10 to 15 minutes. And that time starts coming down real quick here. Because we're putting in a higher intensity, which means the amount of repetitions you're able to turn over your legs is going to start to drop off. 8. Okay? This is where it gets big. Okay? So it's 5 minutes, okay? Or less. Okay? It's under 5 minutes. Okay? That's the big part. 9. We're looking under 3 minutes. Okay? Obviously 10 is 20 seconds or less. Okay? The big part about that is this. These 3 right here. 8, 9, and 10. Okay? This is so important because this is where we hang out a lot during our intervals. During our intervals, a lot of us are doing 1-minute intervals, something simple like a 1-to-1 ratio. But the idea here is if you're putting in a 1-to-1 ratio, where do you think you should be working? Should probably be about a 9 out of 10, right? But we don't want to be training this high all the time. You want to probably be averaging close to a 7 or an 8 over that time period, right? Over a couple weeks, you're trying to look at that 7 or an 8 so that your body doesn't plateau. You're putting enough stress on your body to inflict change, but not enough to where your body hits a wall. Okay? We come to intervals. Okay? Intervals. Wrong pen. So, intervals. If you're doing anything 1 minute or less, okay, just like we talked about over here, 8, 9, 10. Okay? 3 minutes or more. And this is where we start to climb up. So we're looking at 7, 6, and 5. Okay? what makes that so important, what makes this so important with the intervals is that we're not looking to push that 8, okay? I know it's 5 minutes, and that's under 3, but if you're going to be doing multiple of these intervals, you're going to end up longer than 5 minutes, okay? That means when we're looking at an 8 out of 10, it is your maximum effort for 5 minutes, right? It feels like an 8 out of 10 the entire time for 5 minutes, right? At the end of those 5 minutes, you are breathing hard, okay? These are consistent intensities you're able to push at. We come back a little bit more. Let's say 10 minutes. If you're going for more than 10 minutes. 6, 5, 4. Okay? Real simple. The idea here is everything is technically a ratio. Okay? Everything is technically a ratio, no matter what you are doing. Okay? You have your endurance. That's the part you are training. Okay? Whether it's a 10 or a 1, you add your endurance in that first part. Second part is the interval. Okay? So if I'm training 30 seconds, that means I'm going to be looking at 9 or a 10. I'm going to need a lot more recovery than if I'm doing a 3 or a 4. So I need at least 4 to 5 times that amount. So I'm going to need a 2-minute break. Okay? Real simple math. Okay? But if you're training easier, like say a 7, so you're doing 3 minutes at a time, I'm not going to need, right, 2 minutes or 4 times that, which is 12. I'm not going to need those 12 minutes to recover for 3 minutes of work. What I'm looking for is probably an even ratio at that point, a 3 to 3, a 1 to 1. Okay? So when you write down an interval for a workout, you always put the time. You've seen a lot of this with programs. Where they say 1 to 1. But what do you mean 1 to 1? 1 minute on, 1 minute off. No. Okay? We want specifics. Specifics lead to better gains. Okay? More consistent. This stops you from plateauing. Okay? These consistent rests. Understanding the rest intervals you need to take with these. Okay? So if you're someone that does a lot of marathons, your interval is real simple. It's a 1 to 0. You are working 100% of the time. You are resting none. Okay? Because you are going, say it's a 26.2, right? You are trying to cover that 26.2 at an intensity here that allows you to cover it the fastest. That's not going to be sprint, stop, right? Because if I sprint, if I'm at a level 10, I'm going to need at least 4 minutes to hit that level 10 again, right? No. So I want to hang out probably somewhere around a 5. All right, I'm going to train that 5. Because you watch marathoners run, their speed isn't crazy. Okay, they're trying to maintain that 5 intensity. Okay? It's 50% of your max capacity. Okay? These are the zones we're looking to train for. Okay? This allows our body to feel out. So when I say, all right, we're going to push really hard. We're going to do a sprint. But we're looking for repeatability. So if I'm sprinting, right, but my repeatability isn't there, say we're doing on the assault bike. Okay? Say we're on the assault bike. On that assault bike, I'm telling you to go, we're doing a Tabata. Okay? So 20 seconds on, 10 seconds of rest. So this ratio right here is all about VO2 max. Okay? So we are nose breathing, and we're nose breathing, and we are going hard for these 20 seconds. But because we only have a 10-second rest, which is less than is normally required, we are looking for that repeatability factor. So your first number should not be 28 calories on the assault bike. Okay? Because if you hit 28, but the rest of them are 19, 15, 16, it starts dropping, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for that repeatability. So maybe it's not 28, maybe it's 22, 22, 22. Okay? We're looking for that. You are going to have a degree of change, okay, and some variance. 23, maybe 19, something like that. But we are looking for that home base, okay, that stops from your maximum effort. Make sense? It's real simple. It's just a matter of understanding what your goal is. That is why weightlifters constantly stay up in this range. We're not looking for our muscles to be able to go long. You ask a weightlifter to run, it's probably not going to end very well. You ask a marathon runner to run, they're staying typically from here up. Weightlifters, here down. CrossFit likes to hang out right in this little zone right here. So they do a little bit of training here, a little bit of training here. Bodybuilders, hypertrophy, they're coming out here. 40 to 70%. Okay? Bodybuilding, right there. Bodybuilding, CrossFit, weightlifting, marathons. These percentages are real important. Okay? So next time you're working out, you're doing your cardio, think, how am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Okay? Also, these change based on your incline. Say you're on the treadmill, your resistance level. Say you're on the treadmill, okay? But you have it at a 10% grade. That's going to be completely different than if you're at a flat ground. If you're at a 0% grade. Right? This is going to feel a lot more like a 7 than this will. This might feel like a 5. But increasing the resistance on that movement is going to change how that movement feels. Speed, resistance, incline. We're trying to maximize your effort, time, and your results. Thanks for joining me, guys. See you next time.